it was an incredible season to be part of, and looking back, like so many people have said, I think if someone had offered us second at the start of the season, we probably would have jumped at it. But to get so close right at the end and realise that you had a chance of winning it, it's quite hard to take. But yeah, a lot of good stuff to look back at and to be proud of.
There were quite a lot of draws, obviously, to start with. Was there a point where it started to snowball and wins started to come? Was there one point in particular where you thought, we could be in with something special here?
Yeah, like you say, there were a lot of draws. I think we had 6 or 7 draws before we beat Surrey at home, and I remember finishing the game at Lords against Middlesex, and I think both of us had something like 7 draws from 7 games, and we were both sort of mid-table. At that point, I think both teams realised they need to make something happen in order to be at the right end of the table come the end of the season. And then thankfully we got over the line against Surrey, and that kind of, I think, gave us the motivation to well, not the motivation but the drive to sort of kick on from there, and to get on a run like we did and get the results we did going into the back end of the season was just phenomenal.
You mentioned the Surrey game there. What was it like to be out in the middle right at the death?
Yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible. Something I'll never forget. To share that moment with Leachy and be out there, going out to bat. I think you never look at something or a situation and go, the game's lost. But walking out to bat, it was like, it's going to be a tall order to get us over the line here. And I think the plan was just to, bat as long as you can and just see where you can take the game. And then the closer you get, the more belief you have. And getting over the line there in the crowd and walking off the field at the end and seeing the guys' reactions, that was something I'll never forget.
Obviously it happened again shortly after in the one-day format, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But in the championship season, it was a remarkable season, wasn't it? Everyone played their part. It wasn't just the same guys doing the same things every week. You had players almost on a weekly basis breaking their own personal bests, team partnership totals, high scores and things like that. It was a truly remarkable season.
It was incredible. And you look back and if you go through the games bit by bit, and you go back to the Durham game here, where in the 3rd innings when we were batting, we were something like 30 for 6, 30 ahead, 6 down, and from there you're dead and buried, most teams, and the way we fought all season, the guys that came in down the bottom there, be it Craig Overton or Ryan Davis or I think it was Ruller in that game got 50. We found a way to get a lead of 180, and which proved far too much in the end. But the guys just never gave up. Through the season, when you thought we're dead and buried, someone put their hand up and did the job.
It is a bit of a cliche, isn't it? A team has a great blend of youth and experience, but that did prove to be the case for us this year. Yeah,
massively. We always talk about it come the end of the season, the younger guys, Tom Abel and the Overtons and Lewis Gregory and Leachy and all these guys, Dom Bess. These guys have got another season under their belt, and they're not youngsters anymore. We've got the the youth and the experience, but those guys have all got 50 first-class games under their belt, which is a lot of cricket, and they're all still very young, which stands us in great stead going forward. We've got a lot of good experience around the team, guys like Trez and Hildy and Triggs and Jim, myself, guys who've played a lot of cricket, and to have those guys who've played nearly 50 first-class games as well, if not more, that's brilliant for the club and going forward.
How important was Chris Rogers to where we finished this season?
Yeah, when I heard that we were signing him last year, I knew it would be massive. I'd played with him before, and I knew his character and how much he pushes guys and how much he expects of guys. I think that was a big thing. He demands a lot. But he's one of those guys where you go out onto the field and the guys respect him massively as a captain, not only for what he's done in the game, for who he is, and the guys respected him a lot, and looked up to him, and he was a massive part of the success this year.
And a word for the fans with regards to the championship. Obviously the last game of the season here. Incredible atmosphere. It lasted the 3 days, but even though there was no cricket here on the final day, we still had several hundred people.
Incredible. I think you know, away teams must just be blown away when they turn up here and see the support, and the numbers we get for championship games is just remarkable. And you know, when you're out there in the field and you're trying to bowl a side out, and the guys getting wickets and that, and men around the bats, and you hear the crowd go up every wicket. It's you know, to have that on your side as opposed to playing at a ground where you've got 300 people in on the last day type thing cheering you on. Yeah, you know, it's brilliant. It's unbelievable, and to be on that last day when we're all waiting to see what was happening at Lord's, and see the people turn up and the supporters, and to see the sort of optimism on their face going into that afternoon, and then obviously the disappointment afterwards. But to be out there afterwards and on the field and see how many people turned up and their support and that, it's incredible. We can only be thankful to them for, you know, coming down and you know, supporting the boys.